Hey everybody, how you doing? This is episode 45 of Dan's Expert Tips for Authors, Publishers, and Speakers who want to make some money. I'm Dan Blanchard, the best-selling and award-winning author, speaker, and educator, who is also the Connecticut president of the Association of Publishers for Special Sales and the co-host of Mindalia TV. Today I want to talk to you about, should you start a podcast? Yes. All right, well, here's the thing. Do you have something to say? And the answer most likely is, of course. Do you have a product, like a book or something like that? All right? If you got something like that, then having a podcast could benefit your sales, all right? And you're being seen as an expert in that field or arena, right? Do you want modern day exposure, right? Not like people are taking out ads in like newspapers and stuff like that. Podcast is a lot of modern day exposure, and you could actually, you could be on podcast show. You could have your own podcast show, right? I mean, and if you have your own podcast show, or if you're on enough of them, you could be seen as an expert, right? But this one, I think we're talking a little bit about, should we start our own podcast here? If you do, you could be seen as an expert in your field. Now, I have Mindalia TV as like my weekly show that I do. It's sort of like a podcast, except it's like video. All right, but it's the same concept as a podcast, getting out there, content, guest, getting exposure, being seen as an expert in your field. All right, it takes a lot of work, though, and a lot of time, though, okay? And here's the thing. You need to be consistent, all right? You need to have your show on this. If you do this, you need to have your show on the same day, every week, same time, same frequency. So if you're doing it once a month or once a week or every day, you can't just stop that. Once you start it, if you do it every single day, which is a lot, but once you stop that and do it once a week, you'll lose viewers. All right, so whatever your frequency is, that's what you stick with, right? Once a week is definitely doable. Every day, it's a lot of exposure, but boy, that's tough. Very, very time consuming, tons and tons of effort, okay? But you get tons of exposure. I mean, you fast forward. So it depends, what do you want to do? I mean, do you want to do this? All right, and here's the thing, you're going to have problems. Just like all of life, you're going to have problems. Problems are inevitable, right? So are you willing to deal with the problems? If you are, you can totally enlarge your network, become seen as an expert in your field, make some friends, which is really cool. Okay, but here's the bad thing. It's going to cost you a little money at the beginning. Little money, a lot of time, depending on how you go about it. At the beginning, you're not just going to start a podcast and start making money. Okay, I mean, like most people have create a product or write a book, they think on day one they're going to make money, and it just doesn't happen. Same with the podcast. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a while. So will you stick with it? I mean, can you be in it for the long term, for the marathon? Because, consistency is the key. If you do it a long time, then eventually, you start making some headway, and then maybe you start making some money. So will you stick with it? Okay? Are you willing to do the work to find the content, explore the content, create the content, put the content out there, and the guest? All right, find the guest. Are you willing to do all that work? It's a lot. Okay, but if you do this, right, you do the content every week or whatever it is, you're going to learn a lot. Even from guests, you'll learn a lot from them. And speaking of guests, you'll big time increase your network, your friends even. You'll have more friends. People in your network will become your friends, which is pretty cool, okay? So now to do this, again, should you start a podcast? It's a lot to do. I mean, you got to think about recording it. How are you going to record it? Are you going to edit it or just let it go natural? Okay, if you are going to edit it, that's time consuming. How are you going to do that? Okay, then upload and distribute it. What's your plan for doing that? Okay, so you got to kind of have these plans in place before you start your podcast. All right, and you could do, DIY, do it yourself. It's a huge learning curve. It's going to take a lot of time. You could do YouTube videos and all the other stuff, learn from people, right? Or you can spend money, have professionals come in and kind of do these things for you, right? The recording, the editing, the uploading, distributing, and all the other stuff, getting the guests, whatever. Or you could partnership. I mean, I partnershiped with Mindalia TV. Hasn't cost me a thing. They take care of all the technical stuff that I don't want to do. They upload it, distribute it. They do all that stuff. They, if it needs editing, they do the recording thing. I just get the guest, the content, and I get on and I do the talking, right? So pretty cool partnership I got there with Mindalia TV. All right, but regardless, whichever way you decide to go, it's going to be a lot of effort. It's going to be a lot of time, and you got to know that up front. Okay, you got to know that up front. You got to be willing to do it if you're going to go on this road. But if you do it, it'll be a good experience, right? You become an expert. You'll learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of people. It will definitely be very cool if you do it. All right, so I hope this episode 45 of Should You Start a Podcast was helpful. I'll be back soon with episode 46. But in the meantime, be sure to check me out at danblanchard.net or granddaddysecrets.com, and I'll catch up with you real soon. Take care now.